I drew some inspiration from ancient carved stones, shamrocks, and moss thrown in, because you can't have a St. Paddy's Day makeup without green. So sit back and watch this character come to life. Start applying a base of white Wolfe FX Hydrocolor with the sea sponge, followed with Wolfe FX Hydrocolor in black, using that same sponge, concentrating it in the shadow areas of the neck and collarbones, and putting it sparsely everywhere else. Jumping back to the white if anywhere gets too dark. Next, grab some Skin Illustrator black liquid so I could airbrush the basic shape of the knot design I pre-cut out of cardstock. Now, I've painted Celtic knots from scratch before and know that it's a tedious process. In doing this, I was hoping to help speed everything up, just doing a light spray to get the basic shapes. Once I'm done with the stencil, I did go ahead and trace around the shape and add some shading around the collarbone. Grab the Mandela Effect palette from the Collective Cosmetics and use the shade Quiet to flesh out the recessed areas of the carving, concentrating more on either side of the trench, leaving the most center area lighter. After going over the larger areas, time to start the weave of the knot, taking my time with this to make sure I don't goof up the pattern. I took a Q-tip and some white to brighten up a couple areas that might be a little too dark for when I do the spatter over the whole piece. Now with black Wolfe FX Hydrocolor, start to fill in the thinner line work. It doesn't have to be smooth and precise since it's supposed to be aged and rough. Next, use a mixture of white and black Hydrocolor. Start spattering over everywhere, even doing layers of pure white and pure black. This will give it a more stony look. When I'm happy enough with the texture, grab the black Hydrocolor and start painting some cracks, creating multiple branches of different thicknesses, also leaving some large black spaces for future clover. Because of the spatter on the edges of the design got a little too light, went through and quickly brought back some of the depth. Taking the white Hydrocolor and adding some highlights to the edges of the cracks and the knots. Now with the moss, start with Wolfe FX Hydrocolor in green, applying it quite dry with an orange pour sponge, since I wanted to create a nice texture. With the Collective Cosmetics eyeshadow shade Clara and a damp brush, added some darker areas into the lighter green, followed by a stippling of Fab Face Paint color Poison Green. Not stippling every inch of the previous color since I'm trying to build up some breakup. Did a mixture of Wolfe Black and Green and stippled over this color sparingly. For some highlights, went in with some yellow Hydrocolor from Wolfe FX. Add some depth with Skin Illustrator Emeril'd Green from the Mardi Gras palette. Also stippling a tiny bit of black Hydrocolor. Back with the Collective Cosmetics shade Quiet and softly add some shading in and around the mossy parts. And some interesting textures all around. Spatter some black Wolfe carefully on the moss. Then stippled a few places with the yellow Hydrocolor for a highlight. Now for the Shamrocks. Took the Skin Illustrator Mardi Gras palette again, this time with lime Daiquiri, and started drafting them out. I did this step since it's going over black water activated paint. The Illustrator won't reactivate the makeup, and I can use more water-based over top without it getting muddy. Once they are roughed in, I did use yellow Hydrocolor and added some hand-painted highlights on the moss. Then onto the Poison Green of the Fab paint over the Shamrocks to get the opacity I want. Took the black eyeshadow and added in some shading in and around them. Add some depth with the black Hydrocolor, pretty thin because I didn't want it to get too dark. Add some nice thin highlights with Wolfe White and some broader ones with the yellow. Lightly line them so they looked more like they were overlapping each other and sitting above the stone. If it gets too dark, just pop a little more green to bring them back up. Stipple a few white areas on the moss and added some more white to the shamrocks. Went ahead and added an additional one under the design using the same technique as before. Camera wasn't recording, so didn't catch this step, but as you can see, I coated my hair in Fuller's Earth paste before painting my face. Sponged on a different mixture of white and black Hydrocolor. The Fuller's Earth is still wet, so I spattered these colors to cover it. Didn't realize how long it was going to take to dry. In hindsight, would have done this step earlier before I had started it so it could have dried and began cracking. Also spattered the black and white on the face to get that same texture. I was protecting my chest because I didn't want to mess up all that early work with some rogue paint. Now with Quiet from the Collective Cosmetics, start contouring the face. Then onto the black Hydrocolor to add more cracking detail. Intensified some of the shading with the black eyeshadow and add some black spattering before painting in some white highlights. This time for the moss, I started with a stippling of the black and then moved on to the green, yellow, and the touch of white. Added shamrocks to the one cheek using the same step of Skin Illustrator to water-based colors. Create some shading around the area and finished painting the clover to get them nice and 3D. To finish up the area around the eyes, use Mehron Starblend in Monster Gray. Shaded in around the eyes and added more depth where it was needed. Also some random texture. Color my waterline with Kat Von D Beauty Lash Liner in Trooper Black. Then put in some green lenses from Camo Eyes. Using the No. 2 highlight shade out of the NYX Professional Makeup Highlight and Contour Pro Palette. Brighten up under the eyes and the nose bridge. With the black Collective Cosmetics shadow, created a super soft smoky eye. Finally used Ben Nye FX Cream and White to get some last minute dense highlights. And there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Till next time.